Hey friend, welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. Let's check in and see what is going on for your energies, Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising will be the most dominant. I hope, with the full moon energy, we're just coming on the back of that now. I hope it's been kind to you. Be interested to hear how it went for you as you crept into the end of the weekend and into the beginning of the week. But let's dive in. Let's see what Spirit wants you to know at this time. And I know that I'm front facing, and I'm hoping later in the week to get back onto seeing the cards, because I know a lot of you enjoy that. All right. So current energy. First up, we have got the Knight of Pentacles. Let's see what is... Okay. We've got the Lovers and the Three of Swords. So something could be questioning a partnership or some form of stability right now, or some form of strength and stability. Moving ahead in direction, because this is what is crossing or challenging this. So there could be some disappointment or letdown of perhaps what you thought would be stable, supportive, strong in nature. But let's dive in a little more and see what else there is. Oh, this was also flipped up. We had the Two of Pentacles. So something could be feeling, maybe trying to get something back into balance, back into harmony here around a partnership or around some form of opportunity. That, you felt was strong, stable, growing, it had a good foundational structure. You felt safe and supported in it. But I feel there's been a bit of a letdown somewhere, or something just feels a little unbalanced. Let's have a look at what's going on influencing this. Oh, you do have the World energy. So I don't know if someone is afar or I'm getting... And this is just, this is not going to resonate for all of you, but I feel this is a message for somebody here. There may have been some, interesting communication online, or something that you learn, uncovered, saw, recognized, that could either be online or where someone is at a distance. Maybe someone left, traveled, relocated. There's something here about that that feels relevant, and maybe too that whatever this issue is that's causing a little bit of unbalance or causing a little bit of disappointment, maybe someone here is looking at what else is out there, or what someone's next move, what someone's next intentions. But let's have a look at how the past is impacting this. You've got a Queen of Swords energy showing up, so maybe, I don't know, I feel there's a little bit of a check-in of someone's, response, behavior, the way that they communicate, share information. I don't know, I feel like there's a little bit of a pattern to pay attention to here around, I don't know if this is part of self as well, Pisces. I know sometimes, it's not easy to self-reflect, and maybe someone at some point in time has been shutting someone out, or, someone's coming across just a little bit shut off from the emotional side of things. And maybe, again, I feel like there's a pattern somewhere with something or someone or some behavior or form of communication that could be also creeping up here as a matter of fact, But let's dive in a little bit further and see the headspace and what's going on there and what you need to know about that. Got the Star. So there does seem to be, some hope and faith here that, things can come into harmony, things can come into balance, or whatever it is that you're wanting to succeed at or come to fruition for yourself, is that I think there's that trust that everything can work out, So I think that's good. I feel a lot of you are exhausted from this energy right now. Maybe what you've been focusing on, maybe you've been doing a lot, maybe you've been keeping busy, or maybe you're overthinking. But just energy wise, I feel a bit exhausted actually, connecting into this. So A lot of you could be, working through those motions right now with something or someone. Let's have a look at the near future. So we've got 2 cards showing up here. 8 of Swords and 4 of Pentacles. So this is a little bit of energy of feeling, trapped in, do you put your eggs into this basket? Do you hold back? I feel like, not sure what move to make next is a big part that could be coming up here. Maybe for some of you, there's a financial obligation or feeling financially stuck or financially trapped here. That could be one part. Yeah. There's just a question mark about the stability of something or about how to keep building upon this. But there is faith in it, but there's a bit of stuckness, a bit of stuck energy around it as well. Let's have a look at your power in this situation. We had something flip. What was that? Okay. You've got the Ace of Swords. I feel like, yeah, and the 2 of Cups. It's like you're becoming very clear on something. On this partnership, you're becoming very clear. And the more clarity, the more truth, the more understanding that you have of self and where you sit and how you feel and how things are from your side, right? I feel like there is a shift coming and you're going to be happy about this shift, this direction, this conversation, whatever's coming up here. I feel like where you move through and this is sitting on the bottom of the deck. So this is, again, some form of commitment here that seems to be on your mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but, that can be a strong aspect and a strong element. But, for a lot of you, this is about something you're very connected to, something that you care about deeply. Yes, it can be a person, but it can also be something else for some of you as well. Let's have a look at the environment, what you need to know about this. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, you got the Devil energy. Let me get one more on this Devil energy. Okay, yeah. See, and this is the thing, right? There's still something that maybe you can't put your finger on that you're trying to, or maybe there's, again, there's something about exhaustion of energy, time, thought about a particular situation that I just feel here is challenging what's going on around you, okay? It's like you're worried about something amongst all of this, What is it that you're worried about? I just want to dive in a little bit more. Okay, so again, there's something to do with stability and strength in a position. So for some of you, this definitely could be work and earnings and income and how you are positioned in something, but it could also be how, someone chooses to engage. And maybe, there's a part of you that wants to settle down, that wants to be, connected to what you're doing and where you're at in your life. But there's also this part of maybe you're feeling challenged on your own strength financially or being settled somewhere. And maybe there is this overthinking process, especially for a lot of you, if this is around work and and money and career. This could be a key factor here, that something that you felt was stable, maybe you're just not getting what you need out of it. But I feel like things are going to become clearer, whether this is work related, whether this is about creating something. You do have the Empress energy also on the bottom here of the deck, which, is talking about the expansion of self, the expansion, being able to create, being able to come into your own here. So I feel like if you're trying to navigate that right now with someone or towards something, I feel like this is going to become clearer. But I can see this little part of you wrestling, how do I get here? Or is this going to give me the connection to this place of where I am or where I want to be? So I feel like that's, a big part of it. Let's have a look at your hopes and fears. Yeah. So you got the Moon energy. So maybe there is something that you want to express. Maybe there is something here that you're feeling and still can't put your finger on. But let's have a look at the outcome. What do we need to know about the outcome? I've got 2 cards here. Got the 5 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. So I think, you know, that there's some honest realization here about this journey right now for you, friend, which seems to be, you know, when just some things come into your life, and sorry if I'm, you know, what it seems to be is about when things put you in a certain direction, and then it changes because that direction or that path or that opportunity, that work, that place, that home, whatever it might be, is not necessarily the path forward. What else do we need to know about this? You do have the Page of Swords. So maybe there was a decision made somewhere along the path and journey, whether this is you or someone close to you, that did what they had to do. So maybe this is you, you did what you had to do, you made the decision that you made, maybe you had to deal with it in a certain way. I feel, again, the time and place thing has been an important part here. I feel like something or someone could be coming back around. For some of you, this could be a younger figure. So I don't know if some of you have children, have siblings, or a situation that, if it's not related to people outside of you, this could be related to, you know, something on purpose for yourself. And I feel like there's a dynamic or situation that's not giving you either the credibility or the warranting something. I don't know. Again, I feel like maybe you're being a bit underestimated. There's something here about that. What else do we need to know about this? Okay. Knight of Cups. So maybe you've been putting yourself out there, but it seems like you do have something that wants to present itself here with this Knight of Cups. But at first, you may be feeling, you know, you've had a sense of disappointment perhaps around this situation, which we can see. And if you felt stuck or felt like there was, you know, you couldn't, it's like you could see a change in direction, or you could see a certain path happening, but maybe there was a part of you that not necessarily lost hope, because I do have the Star card that's sitting in your headspace, but it seems like maybe you feel like you've taken a few steps backwards around something. But I feel like, you know, just sometimes things happen for a certain reason, a certain purpose, a certain season. I feel like there's a tide, you know, the wind's blowing a different direction in support of where you want to go. And like I said, if you've been wanting that commitment, if you've been wanting to understand how someone feels, or if an opportunity is going to arise, or if someone's going to come forward and, you know, express themselves, I feel like this is coming, and that's going to put you in a place of gaining some balance and clarity and freedom to be able to move forward here. Okay, around this situation. The Six of Swords is that freeing element, but it's also choosing. It's like you've got what you've needed to go a certain direction, and that's through you, the power of you, right? So yeah, I feel quite positive around that for you, Pisces. I'm gonna get you some door cards, and let's see what the first one that we've got through. That's the door. It's quite beautiful. Can you imagine walking through and just standing out there and looking? So the card is Draw Down the Moon. The forest nymphs dance in sheer delight, singing soft songs, find us in the wild, good night. It's interesting because you did have the moon card. You do have the moon card here, which was sitting in your hopes and fears. So I don't know if there was something that particularly came to light with this full moon energy that recently happened, but I feel like there's a sense of breaking free from something, or from some idea that when you take a different perspective, because we do have the perspective energy showing up here, or when we do, and this is in your power, this is in your environment. When there is perspective, when we kind of take a step back, when we sometimes even do that breathing, doing the breathing, breaking free, I think that's when you start seeing things a little bit differently. Or if we change the thinking around, I feel like you're just getting a different view on something. The next card that came through is this one here. And this is a distant kiss in a prayer flag. I wish of all wishes that you were here through sunlight and rain. I need you near. Now, this just fell out. So someone needed to get that message. But I just want to get one more for a final message for you regarding this situation and what you need to know right now. Oh, it gave us 2. I feel like someone's walked through that gate and, had that cute smile and, where you're kind of shy and cutesy and just kind of taken away by situations, just contentment and happiness and that little skip in your step. That's what that feels like in terms of like someone's walking through that gate. So the message here is, and I'm putting it up to the screen, one, so you can read it, but because I can't read it, because I don't have my glasses on, but I can see it from here. A note on love. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown. When love is the focus, foundation, and goal, blessed is the body, mind, and soul. And that's something, I said, I think a season, a reason, a direction, a path. That's, very valid here. And the final card, I feel like these doors here, when you walk through them, if you imagine yourself walking through them, there's a very strong power behind it. It's like you go into a different universe. So trust the universe here, Pisces. Intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Have faith and breathe. I love these door cards because they just give that final wrap up of what's going on in the energy. And I really feel that for you in many ways. I feel there's a path, there's a journey you've been on. I think there's some things that haven't worked out the way that you wanted to. Maybe now you've got something stable, but it took you to go through this crap, and maybe you tried hard to make something work and it didn't, but it set you on path. Maybe you learned what you need to cut out. Maybe you learned what you needed to stand up for. And a part of that as well is that maybe some of you traveled, moved, went a different path and direction, because there was something big at play. But the part I love about you, Pisces, is you've always held strength. You've always held strength. You've always held faith no matter what happened. Even if you didn't know how you were going to get up and make it happen, even if you didn't feel you had all the answers, and maybe there's a part of you too that's self-reflecting on your own habits, on your own behaviors and how you're showing up. And I'm not saying that it's bad, because the devil energy doesn't need to be a bad thing. What it does is that there's just something that's taken over a little bit, sometimes a little too much, but we all need that ego sometimes to drive and motivate and push forward. It's in that passion, belief, go. It doesn't mean, stripping down people and running a wreck and storming things up. I feel like there's just some element here where there's this realization of what you got to do, what you got to let go of, what's stirring up in the mind here. Because your environment around you is reflecting. There's some reflective energy on this devil energy. So whatever that devil might represent, a person, a job, behaviors, habits, there's something. But ultimately you're getting through this, you're pushing through this. And it did say that your intuition has led you astray. So the moon energy is in your hopes and fears. So what are you looking at? What are you focusing on? Because I feel like sometimes when we do get stuck in our intuition and fear or anxiety or whatever else, sometimes deciphering that can be a challenge. And I think sometimes it's hard, and I think I'm realizing it too, I'm closer to 50 than I am 40, and it's amazing what our body does, and how we change and transform as we get older. I'll say first and foremost as women, because, that based on our biology and things like that. But there's some element here, and I can understand that tear between trusting yourself, not feeling like yourself, wanting to make the best decisions, or sometimes when you coped and you managed and you went through life just holding strong, and then sometimes it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. And that's why I think a lot, as you get older, the less fucks you have to give. And pardon me on that colorful part, but I think that's just part of the reality. And the more I look into it, the more that I study it, it's really fascinating. The more that I think I observe others and talk to others and observe myself and also what I go through. I find it very interesting. So at the end of the day here, Pisces, based on this energy, I feel like you're stepping through something. I think you're noticing more about yourself and about your path, but also too, you're getting clear on where you want to partner, who you want to partner with, and the more truth that you have, warmth that you have in that truth, not truth as in cutting everything to shreds, truth in your warmth, in your care, and meeting someone that's you're both at the same parts. I think you're going to find here what didn't work out for a reason. And I feel like there's something really nice that wants to come in, and it is about timing, naturally. Because maybe 3 months before that you wouldn't have been ready, maybe 3 months before that the other person wouldn't be ready, or that job wasn't ready. Like, there's something made for you, and that's what I feel is really coming up in this energy right now. So yeah, hang in there. I'll catch you later, friend. I'd love to hear more and how you're going. Bye.